Welcome
to
to the one,
the only
Danica Daycast.
Daydreams.
You all did you know what? What were your words? Episode 13. That's great. We could change the name of the podcast every time.
Danica.
Danny Danica. We are Danny Danica. Oh, why is that not our name? Danny Danica. We need a time machine. I think we've talked on this podcast before about how we had a lot of different name ideas we wanted to try when we were naming this business.
Yeah, is it pigeon schmidgen?
A smidgen of pigeon.
Oh yeah.
Danica Designs was the one we wanted for a long time, but there were a lot of different small businesses calling themselves that.
That would have been kind of boring.
It would have been kind of boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't go with that.
Yeah. And it doesn't say much. What are we designing? Are you designing house plans?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
So I think we settled on something pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question to ask you, Daniel. Okay, if Mr. Clean was a cleanaholic, do you think he'd become a villain?
Well, isn't he already a cleanaholic? He's named after.
No, but what if he was obsessed with every mess, and he was ready to disturb everyone so he could clean everybody's house? Then would that make him a villain?
I think whether or not he's a villain depends on how and when he does it, right? If we go out for a walk, Mr. Clean comes up and says, "Hey, going to clean this all? Be sparkling, shiny, everything you want by the time you get back." We're like, "Sweet." But if it's 3 a.m., we hear someone break into our house, vacuum cleaner turns on.
Yeah, see?
And we see
who's the villain now?
A bald man scrubbing the floors. Then I don't know.
And then you turn on the light. It's just me, Mr. Clean.
You think he has an arch nemesis? Is there a Mr. Dirty?
Well, yeah, Slavica.
Slavica? That's just you being slobbery. Or being a slob, I guess. Being all messy. Messica? Slobica? You might have been right with Slobica.
Messica.
Yeah. Okay, what would you do? As he's cleaning, are you dumping over trash bins? Are you throwing bananas at the wall? What are you doing?
Or I could be a slug and I release my mucus everywhere.
I could see that.
Then Mr. Clean starts panicking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like he would be a villain though if he was a cleanaholic and he had to clean every house.
Okay, but if he's a villain, then
because he's still breaking and entering.
How does he get there?
Even though he's cleaning and doing good things, he's still a villain in that scenario because he's breaking into houses.
In the commercials, isn't somebody turns around and there he is, in their house, shining?
He's already a villain.
How did he get there? Can he walk through walls? Can he teleport? Did he chimney? Like Santa?
He's a magical cleaning man.
What if he went down the chimney like Santa, but the reason he's got no soot on him is because he cleaned it on his way down?
What do you mean he cleaned what?
The chimney. Maybe that's how he gets in your house. Goes down the chimney just like Santa. But he cleans it as he's going down.
He's still a villain.
With his magic eraser.
It's still a villainy scenario.
But if he's a villain, my question is, what is that messy arch nemesis of his? Is that the hero? The villain comes in cleaning up the house.
Villains.
They're both villains. They're just different branches of villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
You're trying to clean your house. You got to maybe sweep, mop, that kind of thing. And I don't want to do this, but it's got to be done. Whatever. You turn around. A man breaks into your house, says, "Try my magic sponge." And that's kind of freaky right there.
Yeah.
Right? And then just as soon as you think what's going on? This can't get any weirder. There's someone else just making a mess, tossing over your trash, throwing those bananas. I don't know why I keep thinking about throwing bananas, but throwing those bananas, rolling around in the mud, bringing the mud in.
It's like the paper towel like commercials that someone always makes a mess. They make us look so messy.
You know what they could do? They could have like the paper towel commercials and the Kool-Aid guy like merge into one, right? And you have the same thing if someone shows up and they clean the mess. The only difference now is it's the Kool-Aid man making the mess, right? Kool-Aid man busts through the wall, goes, "Oh yeah!" right? He spills his juices everywhere. And then he wipes them up himself.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. And then he's like wiping.
Yeah, I can see this. We need to make like commercials for brands that aren't our own, you know? That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I can see that. That'd be rad. Mr. Clean.
I feel like we have the right mindset for commercials.
You think he like started with full head of hair, but like all the chemicals in his products like led to him going bald?
A part of me thinks, but another part of me thinks that he's just old because like his eyebrows are like gray or like white-ish.
That's true.
Yeah. So a part of me just think he's old.
It's supposed to be from like a lifetime of experience cleaning. To be fair, if it was like someone younger, if it's like some like college guy coming up, I wouldn't trust them as like the cleaning man. I would not.
But you trust this old Mr. Clean man?
I don't know if I would either.
Don't you think that's suspicious behavior coming from you and everyone else that's trusting Mr. Clean because he's this old bald man?
But when you buy,
so if he was a young bald man, you wouldn't trust him?
So is that ageist of me that I would only really trust an old bald man and not a young bald man?
You should just trust anyone with cleaning products, Daniel. That's what you should do.
I don't know if that's how it works.
If they're willing to do the work for you, then you should trust them.
If everyone had that mindset, though, like, that's how I would rob banks. I would go in, do the robbery, right? Or, no, I just go in with a mop, little magic sponge, and say, "Hey, here to clean the vault. I'm a cleaning guy. Let me in." Walk in, grab the cash, walk right out. It's the perfect crime. It's the perfect crime. Just say there's possibilities here. Yeah. Hey, I want to tell you about something, and I want you to let me know if this reminds you of anything, okay?
Okay.
The thing I want to tell you about is the Bionicle Dream. Have you ever heard about the Bionicle Dream before?
Is this like a commercial?
No. I was watching like videos that were like talking about this. Apparently this is like a phenomenon where it's people about our generation, right? What people are calling Zillennial, which is like, you know, kind of on that cusp of like Gen Z and millennial, that kind of thing. And I got a whole thing about millennials after this. Basically, they have this shared dream, reoccurring dream, where they're in a toy store, or maybe it's like a Walmart, Toys R Us, that kind of thing. They go in and they see like a fully stocked like selection of Bionicles for them to choose. For some people, it's like the Bionicles that were around when they were children. For other people, it's new Bionicles or like new twists on Bionicles. But they go up, they see the Bionicles. They see the Bionicles that they haven't seen on store shelves in so long, Monica. They get that excitement. They're about to buy it. Or maybe they even do buy it. And they wake up and they're filled with disappointment. They realize it was just the dream. The Bionicles aren't there. The Bionicles haven't come back. It's all just the dream. Now, does that remind you of something?
Your dreams that you keep on having
Yes!
about Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Yes!
In that store that you keep going in and buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards or comic books.
Yes!
Yeah.
I keep having dreams, not
and
about
it's an
Bionicles.
Annoying dream
Yeah.
for me. Because then you keep saying, "Oh, I had the store dream again."
Yeah, it's always, I go into the store, and normally it is stuff like from my childhood, and it's normally roughly the same kind of store, but with like variations. And I've even shown you, like, it's like based off of this one store from downtown Guelph. And like we walked by that store, but like the inside is totally different, like in my dream. But it's got like usually there'll be like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Spider-Man comics is the big one. Normally they keep those in the back of the store on like the bookshelves. And ooh, there's some rare ones, right? You got your Epic collections, you got your omnibuses, got it all. Sometimes there's old video game consoles. And I have that dream. And it's like I'm a kid again, but I'm more just like my age, like an excited adult, like ready to like just buy this cool stuff. And I get it, and I'm so excited. And I'm like, "Woo!" And I wake up, and then I'm just like, there's like this wave of disappointment that comes over me.
No.
It was just a dream.
Oh,
It wasn't
no.
real.
Poor little Daniel.
I don't have that new book. I don't have the new card.
Oh.
But whenever I've talked to you about this dream so many times, I'll wake up and I'll say, Monica, I had that dream where I was at the store. I was at the store.
Okay, I don't need to hear more.
And you've never like told me about like you having like a similar kind of dream.
No, not
But
really.
you know who is having those dreams?
You.
Bionicle kids.
Bionicle kids.
Yeah, like people that were like kids when
Well,
like Bionicles were around.
Why did Bionicles stop?
It was I watched the whole like 30-minute video just before this podcast about it. I don't know, things go in and out of fashion, and one thing is like Bionicles had lore. Like there were the comic books, there were the novels, there were the commercials, right?
Well, wasn't there a movie?
There were movies, multiple movies. There were video games. Remember the first Bionicle movie in the end? He's wearing like the golden mask.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. And then
I still remember the movies.
when I was a kid, I found that mask on the ground.
They were weird though.
I took it. I didn't buy it. I didn't pay for it. It was on the ground at a field trip near the bus. And it was mine.
Mine.
Yeah, the movies were weird. But as a kid, they were the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, kids are having the Bionicle dream. I mean, adults like my age, your age, like our age.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so cool. So I don't know if anyone out there has like reoccurring dreams like this, where for me it was something from my childhood that I still think is cool. I still think Yu-Gi-Oh is cool. I still think Spider-Man's cool. You should see all the Spider-Man books I have. Still think video games are cool.
Yeah, he's taking over my bookshelf.
That is true. But let me know, like, have you had like this like reoccurring dream where you go to a store and you see that thing from your childhood, you wake up and you realize, oh, that wasn't it, and you feel that disappointment? Maybe it's Bionicles, maybe it's something else, but let me know. I'm like genuinely curious because I didn't know that it was so common of a reoccurring dream. But I think with Bionicles, part of it is like because Bionicles, they recently just brought some Bionicles back, but they kind of went away for a long time. Because like what I heard was Bionicles had this like lore attached to them, and one of the reasons why the Lego company like stopped carrying them is they're like, well, it's too much now. And like when you hear about that, like the story when it's starting, when you're a kid, you're like, this is really cool. Ooh. But that's because like we were a kid when it was starting, right? Whereas let's say you're born in like 2004 or something, right? When you're young, you'll still see some Bionicle commercials, but you're closer to the end of it now, right? And you're like, oh, I don't know who these characters are. I don't care. Didn't grow up with them. It's not the same. And it's all about the Zillennials, which is like that mix.
Is that the villains?
No.
Sound like yeah, that's good because it sounded like a weird, non-threatening villain name.
That's like Zillennial is basically when you're like on the cusp of being a millennial or like being Gen Z. So it's like a generational thing. I think if you're between like Gen X and millennial, is this millennial with an X?
What?
Excellent.
All of these words
Anyways.
sound made up, Daniel. You're making up words.
But I've talked to you before about like what generation am I, right? Born in 96, unlike you 95. Ha!
What?
You're born in 1995.
Yeah, but it's not that much of a difference.
Huge difference. Old lady.
No.
Okay.
You're an old lady.
But my whole thing.
You dream about being old lady all the time.
Oh yeah, I wanna be an old lady when I grow up. That'd be cool. Like if I could like I feel like it's a good life, you know? Rocking chairs, making pies, knitting, playing bingo. But that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about.
But you could do all of that as an old man.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I probably will. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I'll be lined up at the bingo.
And bingo, what's her name? Yeah, okay. I'm not done this millennial thing. But there's like a whole thing of like, what generation is somebody born in 96? Are they millennial? Are they Gen Z? Because millennials...
You have this debate because you don't want to be old with me and be a millennial with all the old millennial. I can never say that word.
Millennial.
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 Millennial. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Just let me have it.
But I like the definition of millennial being like 81 to 95, right?
No. You're in it.
But unfortunately, a lot of people now, like a few years ago, it was like more debated. Although growing up, I was always referred to as millennial, always.
That's because you are.
We'll see. But now more people are like,
you have
okay,
to be
Gen
happy,
Z.
okay?
But
we're in the same party as Britney Spears.
Well, that's the thing. Okay,
she's the queen, Britney.
So nowadays, more people like say that I'd be like millennial and like Gen Z starts at like 97 or possibly even like 98, but probably 97. So I'm out of it, unfortunately. But first of all, a few years ago, like there was more of like everyone trashing on millennials. Nowadays, it's not as bad, you know, because they realize millennials aren't like the little kids anymore. Like millennials, like some millennials are middle-aged, right? You got Britney Spears, you got Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Oh no, not Mike Zuckerberg.
And it's like my experiences in life are so very different than theirs.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like we're born at very different times, but if a generation is 14 years long, then you are going to get that no matter where you place it. Anyone that's born 14 years apart will have very different experiences.
Well, then maybe it should be shorter time then.
Yeah. Like it should. I've heard it said that like really a generation should be defined as like every 7 years and yada, 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 yada. But here's my two arguments of like why I shouldn't be a part of the millennial generation. Okay? Two arguments.
No.
Two arguments.
You already are part of it.
Two points.
You always have to talk yourself out of it. Why are you such ashamed?
Because
embrace it.
Because I want to be Gen Z until people turn on Gen Z, and then I want to be millennial. I want to be whatever one's cooler at the time, and I feel like Gen Z is where it's at.
But
okay, so
but you're not. Stop fighting it.
So hear me out.
Just accept your millennials.
Millennials.
Your millennials.
Millennials.
Your millennials.
Millennials. Okay, so here's
that sounds like something else.
Millennials.
Yeah.
Like genitals.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's two reasons why I don't think I fit in that generation.
Just embrace it.
First of all, millennials are people who are coming of age, right? Who are like reaching adulthood in the new millennium, right? I became an adult in like 2014. That's when I turned 18, right? I wasn't coming of age in 2005. I wasn't coming of age in 2002, right? I was a kid. I was growing up. I was doing my childhood. I was doing some childing, right? A lot of millennials voted for Obama for the first time. Some millennials voted for Bush for the first time or the second time, right? Millennials went off to fight in like the Iraq war, like after 9/11, the older ones. Here's my second reason. The second reason why I don't think that I should be a part of that generation, 9/11 is something that defined the millennial generation. I don't remember 9/11. I have no memory of it.
Well, me neither.
Come to my side then. Now, part of that...
I'm just accepting what I am, Daniel. I don't really care. I'm going to stick with my Britney, you know?
Yeah, but you're not the same, like, are you the same generation as Britney?
I am now.
But I don't remember 9/11.
I don't either, but it's okay. I'm with Brittany.
Okay, so I don't remember 9/11. Part of that is I'm Canadian, right? Not our country, but living as a Canadian means you're going to consume so much American media, right? I wasn't watching the news at the time. In fact, my parents purposely were like, "Do not watch the news right now," because they didn't want me knowing about it. But if I was a few years older, that wouldn't have been an option. If I was a few years older, if I was 7, 8 years old when that happened, even if my parents tried to shield me from it, I would know about it. I would know about it from the other kids. I would remember it. I have zero memory of that. I have memory of kind of the aftermath and growing up in like those like early years, but I have no memory of that.
Yeah, no, I just know that there was 2 towers there because of that movie.
Well, you know it because of more than the movie. Come on.
Yeah, but at first it was because of that movie that my parents told me.
Okay, yeah.
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 Because I was like, oh, there's 2 towers there. How come they're not there after that movie?
Well, there's that whole thing about how Kermit the Frog is like somewhat responsible for 9/11.
But he's not.
But he is, because there's like a Muppets there's some like Christmas special or there's some Muppet thing where they show what the world would be like if Kermit the Frog never existed. And there was a shot of Miss Piggy in her New York apartment, the windows open, and behind her you see the 2 towers still up. The Twin Towers. You see the Twin Towers still up.
Okay, but they
and that was released in like 2002 or 2003 or something. That was released post 9/11. Without Kermit the Frog existing, 9/11 wouldn't have happened. It's true.
But they could have done the same thing if, like, oh, what if there was no Mrs. Piggy? They could have done the same thing.
And if they did that, I would say, if it wasn't for Mrs. Piggy, 9/11 wouldn't have happened.
See, so
in
it's
the
all
Muppet
bogus.
universe,
It's all
I'm not
bogus.
saying in real life, but in the Muppet universe, canonically, Kermit the Frog is at least somewhat responsible. I can see you as a Muppet.
Oh, what would I look like if I was a Muppet?
I mean, kind of just you, but Muppet. Like, you'd be...
Well, what kind of animal?
You don't have to be an animal to be a Muppet, though.
Yeah, but most of them are.
You know, I think you would be animal. Like on the drums? That's the one you'd be.
Which one is that?
Animal. He's the one on the drums.
With the hair?
Yeah. That'd be you.
Is he red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you as animal. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, wait, no, you'd be, is it Grover? Yeah, the one that likes the chickens. That'd be you.
Why?
Because you got, like, a same, like, kind of vibe.
I like chickens?
No, but just, like, like, you're both from, like, outer space.
How do you know?
How'd I learn your secret?
No, like, how do you know I come from outer space?
I got my theories. Alienica.
I'm human. I'm a boring human, yes.
Just like Mark Zuckerberg.
It's me,
that millennial.
boring human. Hello.
Hello, boring human. Hello, boring human.
I'm not an alien at all.
No.
This is my human voice.
This isn't very... This is my human voice.
This is my human voice. I am Danica.
I am one of you. Hello, fellow people.
Hello, fellow people.
Hello, fellow people.
Hello.
Hello. The other thing that's been going on too is I've been I just started applying to different markets again, which is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a good time though.
I don't know. I just find them exhausting, but it's good on the day, but then the day after you feel pooped.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I think it's worth it. For those of you who don't know, we sell Monica's art. That's what we're wearing right now. Check it out, danicadaydreams.ca. We've been doing this since, was it October 2021? Yeah, October 2021, we launched an online store. And last year we decided, hey, let's go out to markets. Let's like meet people, like show off our stuff in person. And it was a really cool experience, but we did do a lot. I think we did a few too many last year. We did.
Yeah, it was too many.
I think
it was like almost like every weekend.
Yeah, well, there was a time where within 14 weeks we did 14 markets. And it's not just like us driving from here to like 5 minutes over or like the next town over or something like that. Like we really kind of went places. Like,
Yeah, I was like Guelph or Toronto.
I mean, we did everything. We did stuff here in Barrie, Guelph, Toronto, Hamilton,
Yeah, there's even one
Ottawa,
in Kingston.
Cornwall, or not technically Cornwall, but like
Yeah.
close to Cornwall,
But
that
if-
kind of thing.
I feel like it was a lot,
It was a
especially
lot.
like with the driving in Toronto, and
Yeah.
and I'm so stressing out and
Yeah.
yelling in the car.
But it was cool though, because like when we do the markets, like it takes a lot out of us. But it's just awesome to be out there and to see other people and see like the way that they react
I feel
to
like
the
it
art.
would be great if I had like a costume on and would scare people.
Well, I don't know about
Or
that.
just like start dancing, like, buy from us, please. And I'm like wearing some weird costume.
Well, we almost bought me like a full on pickle costume.
Yeah, for
'Cause-
the pickle collection, but
Yeah.
it would have been too warm.
It would have been too hot, but I wanted to like wear this like full body like pickle costume from like head to toe. But some days we'd be out for like, I don't know, like 8+ hours, like 10 hours or something. It's like 30 something degrees in like the summer. It's just,
Yeah.
oh my God, it's so hot. So just doing that with like jeans and a t-shirt was too much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you never want to wear shorts.
No, well, I like the way jeans feel. I like it.
I don't
The other thing-
understand.
So like we're saying, we sell our t-shirts. We've been to a lot of different markets, including a market in Cornwall, which Cornwall's more of like a rural kind of place.
Well, it was in Cornwall.
Okay, but you know what I mean. It was like next to Cornwall. It was within
Yeah.
the area. It wasn't far off. But it was more like a rural kind of place with more kind of like average stuff that you'd see. So you see people selling like candles, selling like, I don't know, like hand knitted stuff, like some woodworking, like that kind of stuff. Whereas with us, our whole thing is embrace the weirdness that life has to offer. Comes from us being neurodivergent. It really just means be yourself. If people think you're weird, fine. Be weird. Be you. Just do your own thing. Yeah. One girl came and she walked into our booth.
Oh, yeah.
This one like young woman, and we're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she's like, "Oh, you know, blah 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 blah." And I bring up how your artwork is inspired by your bizarre dreams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, it comes from Monica's like bizarre dreams. She's kind of weird." And the girl was like, "Oh, well, I'm not weird. Like, look at me. I'm normal." Which what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah. I didn't really like what?
Yeah.
I really didn't understand why she was just like, oh, everybody's weird, whatever.
Yeah.
But she had to like make a point that she was like all normal and
Yeah.
stuff, and I was just like not buying.
But I just try to make a joke. I try to be like, we're kind of weird. I said like, we're a bit crazy. Ha ha ha. But like in a fun way, not like,
Yeah.
we're crazy. Ha ha ha. You know?
We're coming for you.
Yeah, no, not that.
There was none of that.
But after I said we're a little bit crazy ourselves, her eyes kind of just like widened and she went, okay. And she just like backed out of our booth.
You
And
scared her.
I waved
Daniel.
at her and I said, goodbye, normal girl. And
And then you found out that you did something wrong because like she was like another person that owned the booth.
yeah, she was. I thought that was going to be our like one
Baddie.
interaction with her like the
You
whole
bad.
time. But it wasn't. She was just like a few booths away from us. So we
Yeah.
kept seeing her and she kept trying not to make eye contact. Like I feel kind of bad.
You bad.
Like I was just joking, but like I think that like I kind of freaked her out a little bit. But just saying we're weird, ha ha ha. But the great thing is like when people came by our booth, like the two biggest compliments that we would get is, "I don't like it. This isn't for me," and "I love this. This is amazing. Oh my god." Even the people that don't like it, I appreciate that because we're not trying to make something for everyone. We're trying to make something for, for us and for people that like the same kind of things that we like. We're not trying to make something for everyone, and we get that. Like, hey, your artwork's a little bit trippy. Not everyone likes a little trippy, But sometimes we would get people who were like really passionate about us. And there was this one woman who was amazing. She came by the booth. And she loved our stuff. She was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. This is great. I got to tell my friend. she took like 10 of our business cards to like hand out to her
Yeah.
friends, and like a couple of her friends like came
She
up to her
even
booth.
handed it one to the girl, the normal girl.
Yeah. So she was going around and she's like, this is great, this is great. And I see her talking to people and she's friends with the normal girl. And she goes up to the normal girl and she's like, have you seen their booth? Have you seen it? It's amazing. Gotta check it out. And she's like, I don't think that they're for me. I don't know about that. That poor girl.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yeah. But that one woman though was like so supportive. Like
Yeah.
the one, like she was telling us we should look into doing like tattoo flash, like talking to like tattoo artists and like licensing out like the artwork to them and that kind of thing. And yeah, it was just cool when we saw it. And there were like so many people who were just like, wow, I haven't seen anything like this before. And like it was cool for me to like stand next to you and listen to you talk to people about this artwork that came from your mind, because like it's based off of your dreams, and I got to hear you break down like which dream like each piece of art was from and like what it kind of means and like this and this and this. And like even though I'd hear you talk about the same pieces over and over again, there'd be days where it's like I learned a new detail about that. I didn't know that before. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, yeah. And I'm excited. We're going to do it again. Follow us on Instagram. We'll be posting like the markets that we do when we announce that, and when we figure that all out. I've applied to 4 or 5 different market dates. I think we want to do like 13 markets this year or something like that.
I think that's what you said.
Yeah. The plan is to do fewer markets over a longer period of time, because it was too much. And I think it's important to know, when it is time to take a break and when it's time to kind of breathe a little bit. And beyond that too, we're not just working to drive to places and to set up a tent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on
Because
here.
it took a long time to set up that tent.
Yeah.
Even though you think it's like pretty simple, it's like takes time and effort, and then by the time you get to selling, you're just a little bit exhausted from the setup.
I always found the worst was like tearing down, having to pack it all up. And the worst thing is like we're trying to like fit everything into your like smallish car.
Yeah.
And we have to do it all like efficiently. So the clothing racks, every single day we would be building them and then breaking them down into like their individual pieces, and taking like a little like wrench to them. Same with our displays where we had like our prints. Those were made out of wood. They were kind of like wood slots that would go together. But it would take like 10, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Take like 10 minutes just to kind of put it all in place. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But we also got to spend a summer
Outside.
actually being outside and seeing new places and meeting some really cool people. Like there's some
Yeah.
awesome people who like still, when I post something on Instagram, there are a few people who are like, who met us almost a year ago now, who are still like regularly like commenting and being like, oh, I love the art. I love this, making jokes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you live in Ontario and want to see us sometime, check out our Instagram. That's where we'll be posting with markets.
Yeah.
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 Monica,
Yes.
do you know what time it is? What time is it, Monica?
It's drawing time.
It's drawing time. Should we do one more?
What? Do what?
One more drawing time.
Why?
Let's just try one
Did
more.
I do it weird?
I think I did it weird.
No, I think I did it weird.
Here, let me try. Let me try. What time is it, Monica?
It's drawing time.
So for those who don't know, drawing time is the time when we draw. We got all the ideas here in the squid head. I'm going to shake
no,
it.
you're making them fall. Dang.
We've already chosen our lucky one.
No.
Here, I'll shake. Let me shake. You pick.
Fine.
Shake!
Shy
Shake it. Monica, pick one. Anyone. What do you got?
A magical
This is mine, I think.
tree
Following
following its dreams.
a magical tree following its dreams.
Wow.
It's a pretty good one, right? You want green? Green for a tree, friend?
Okay.
Green for the tree. I remember being a kid. There's a whole school assembly. They said, we're going to make the screen green. And they're like, well, what does that mean? Doesn't mean that we're going to paint the whole school green. And I thought that was really funny. I like that joke.
They should have painted it green, because then they could have then you could have act like stuff, like it could have been a huge green screen, like the whole school.
That would be cool, actually, green screen school. But you'd have to keep it that same green.
Yeah.
You'd have to have someone regularly clean it, and then maybe every 6 months, someone repaints the walls.
Yeah.
A lot of maintenance, but I think it's worth it.
It could be, yeah.
My tree's going to be better than yours.
No.
And it's going to be more magical. Just you wait.
Are you sad, Daniel, that Dr. Phil is going out?
I'm the one that broke that news to you.
I know.
But, not really. He's had his run. And after a while, I don't know, it feels kind of bad watching that show. It feels like you're just making fun of people, you know? And he's not a real doctor.
Well, he used to be, but then he lost his license.
What color eyes would a tree have?
Green?
But the tree's green.
Not the whole tree.
I like to think that one day they'll have these crayon drawings of ours in a museum.
Why?
Go, oh, look at the great work. Because they'll realize, well, just my drawings, they'll realize what a true artist I am and how ahead of my time.
What do you mean?
A true visionary. Say, no one did crayon drawing quite like Dan. And also, no one did crayon dropping quite like Dan. Oh. My little artistic hands. It's true.
That was funny. Should say that every time you drop pens, you drop stuff.
I should. You know, in Lord of the Rings, you have those talking trees that talk real slow.
Yeah.
Do you think that they view themselves as talking real slow, or do you think that they feel like they're talking normal speed? In which case, do you think they perceive the rest of the world going super fast?
Maybe they're just slowing down for us.
No.
Because maybe they because trees are connected to all the other plants, and they can communicate really fast. I feel like they would be more advanced than us, and they could understand each other better
Yeah.
than us.
Then why talk slow?
Because they think that they need to talk slower for humans.
So they're overestimating our level of stupidity.
Yeah.
I see. That's a good little theory.
But if you think of it all, trees are connected to the earth and everything, and they must know all the secrets and everything.
What do you mean?
They must know the earth better, maybe better than we know it.
Well, they're not sentient. They don't think.
How do you know?
I got a good feeling. I'm dreaming of a magical tree, just like the trees I used to tree.
I'm almost done. Okay. Oh. Sure.
It's all good. I think this is a sign of autism.
Okay. Daniel.
Wait.
Well, can I do it? Please?
I did all the work.
But I didn't see it.
But there's two things I could do. I could either pull it. Like, do you think if I pull it real quick, they'd all fall? Or they'd all stay?
They'd all fall.
Wait, it's like a tablecloth. You ready?
It's all gonna
3,
fall. Why can't I do it?
2, 1.
See?
Ta-da!
That's
Okay.
not a ta-da.
I thought they'd all stay up like a tablecloth.
That's not true.
Whoo!
How could that be?
Well, you know, if you pull
They're
a tablecloth.
unstable. These are already unstable.
I don't know how the tablecloth thing works.
It's because it's objects that are heavier than this.
Did you ever do that when you were doing hospitality? You ever pull a tablecloth off
Yeah.
while it still had stuff on it?
Yeah. But it had to be like heavy stuff.
Really?
Or else it would like just like fall over if it wasn't heavy stuff.
Really? We should have brought this up earlier. I don't know. You got a quick story about that?
No, not really, because I didn't fail.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You failed.
Whatever. Okay. You want to show yours first?
Okay.
All right.
So, this is the magical tree here. He's blue for some reason. And then the leaves are leaving him. They're like, let's get away from this magical tree. He could be dangerous. And that's like the other leaf talking like that he could be dangerous. And then the tree's like, please don't leave me. I'm not ready to be bald yet. Yeah.
Wait, this is the magical tree living its dream?
No, he's not living his dream.
Or following its dreams?
He's trying to follow his dreams, but then his leaves left him.
That's so sad. That's so sad. See, I showed...
But
okay.
he's happy because he has a birdie friend.
Okay. Aw, I feel sad for the tree. Poor tree. My tree. Do you want to see my tree? You want to see my tree? Okay, my tree dreamed of becoming a singer. So here it is. It's doing some... Is it not Mariah Carey? Who's the... I will always love you. Who is that? Is that Celine Dion?
I'm not sure right
Is that...
now.
Anyways.
Sorry.
So you got it. My tree up on stage singing its heart out. And it's got spotlights on it. It's living it big. So mine's following its dream. Yours, this is like a nightmare. It's leaving it. But I guess let us know in the comments below which one you like more. Do you prefer Monica's sad, depressing,
No,
nobody's going to stay with the tree
But the bird is.
except for the one bird?
Yeah,
and it's
he's
just
making
trying to follow its
He's
dreams.
making one new friend, but losing the rest.
That could turn out to be a good thing. You never know. You know, quality over quantity.
But maybe it's
That's
a
what I
good
always
thing
say.
because the leaves seem to be mean. So
Yeah, they do.
yeah, so he's getting rid of the mean people.
Maybe making new friends was his dream that he's following.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you prefer Monica's of him switching out his friends? Or do you prefer mine of this tree singing its heart out? Monica's or Dan's? Let us know in the
Hey, you're
comments
showing
below.
off yours more.
Dan's.
Monica's.
Dan. Alrighty. I think that's been a good little daycast.
Okay.
Well, you don't think so?
Yeah.
We did some good daycasting. So thank you for tuning in
Thank you.
to the Danica Daycast.
Yeah, thank you.
As always, Stay daytastic.
Fantastic.
And we'll see you next week. Check us out online at danicadaydreams.ca. Check out our TikTok. That's really the best way, I think, to consume this podcast, to take it in. We got daily clips on TikTok. Only the best makes it in. And yeah, check us out at danicadaydreams.ca. And then we'll be back here in a week. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.